Do not waste your life. I am saying this with urgency because most people do not realize they are quietly trading away the only thing they cannot ever get back: time. It took me 30 years to fully understand something I will tell you by the end of this message. Something no one says out loud. Something that is rarely spoken, but it changes absolutely everything. If you skip even one part of what I'm about to share, you won't see the full picture. Stay with me until the very end. Now, I've learned 4 lessons in 3 decades. Each one builds on the next, and the last one is the most important. It's the one truth that ties everything together. The one insight that makes sense of why people win or why they quietly fade away without ever living the life they could have lived. So, let me ask you, where are you listening from today? What city? What state? Drop it in the comments. I want to see how many people across America and across the world are gathering here today, because this message is not just for one person, it's for all of us. And please, if you haven't yet, subscribe to this channel, hit the like button, and turn on the bell icon, because I don't just want you to hear this message once. I want you to live by it. So, let's begin. Lesson 1. Time is not equal for everyone. We've all been told that every person has 24 hours in a day. That is true mathematically, but in reality, time is not equal for everyone. A year for someone who is 20 feels very different from a year for someone who is 60 or 70. The older you get, the faster time moves, and you already know this deep inside. I want you to think about this. Do you remember how long one summer felt when you were a child? It seemed endless. Compare that to how quickly the last year went by. This is not imagination, it's psychology. Research shows our perception of time accelerates as we age because each year becomes a smaller percentage of our entire life lived. That's why the years feel faster and why most people waste more time as they grow older, not less. But here's the hidden danger. Because time feels shorter, many seniors stop starting new things. They stop believing they can begin something at 55 or 65 or 75. They think it's too late. That is one of the biggest lies ever told. I've seen this happen in America over and over. A man retires at 62 thinking he has decades ahead to enjoy. At first he takes walks, he rests. But slowly he stops learning, stops planning, stops believing tomorrow can be different. 5 years later, he looks in the mirror and wonders where it all went. Here's the truth. It is not too late unless you stop moving. I want you to imagine right now. What would you attempt if you believed age was not a barrier? What project, what calling, what mission would you pursue if you realize time can still expand when you live with purpose? Write it in the comments below. I want to hear it from you. Tell me the city you're listening from and what dream you've put on pause. Let's build a conversation right here because your answer might inspire someone else who is reading. Now, let me give you something practical. Most people drift through their days because they don't capture their time on paper. One of the simplest but most powerful tools I recommend is the 31-day daily high-impact planner. It forces you to plan your day with intention, to take those fleeting hours and shape them. This isn't about being busy. It's about directing your life instead of drifting through it. Think of it as designing your next 31 days. Ask yourself, if I only had 31 days left, how would I spend them? Write it down. This alone can change the course of your year. I've spent 30 years watching patterns, hidden structures in business, technology, and life. Here's what almost nobody says. Most people don't fail because they didn't have opportunities. They fail because they wasted their most valuable currency, time, without realizing it was slipping away. This is why I'm telling you today. Stop waiting for the right time. The right time is never coming. The only time you will ever have is now. But this is just the first lesson, because even if you respect your time, there's another trap waiting for you. And this next one is more dangerous than wasted time. It's the invisible weight holding most people back every single day, even when they don't know it. So don't go anywhere. Stay with me. I'll explain this hidden trap in the next and how it quietly destroys more lives than anything else. And remember, the fourth lesson I will share with you at the very end of this message is the most important of all. It took me 30 years to realize it, and it may be the single truth that saves you from wasting the life you still have left. Question for you. What dream have you delayed because you thought it was too late? Write it in the comments. And if you're listening right now, like this video so others can find it too. Listen closely. If you thought wasted time was the biggest danger, you are only halfway awake. There is something even more dangerous, something almost invisible. It does not show up on your calendar. It does not appear in your bank account. It hides in plain sight, silently shaping your days, your thoughts, and your decisions. And yet, almost no one talks about it. I've watched thousands of people, brilliant, capable, full of potential, lose entire decades to this hidden force. By the time they recognize it, it's too late. This is why I had to tell you this today. This message found you for a reason, because once you see it, you cannot unsee it. Stay with me. This is not just another idea. This is the truth that keeps people small, keeps them from living the life they were created to live. And it's quietly at work in millions of homes right now. Lesson 2, the silent architecture of influence. Here's the hidden truth. Most of the decisions you think you are making freely are not yours. They are being shaped subtly, invisibly by the environment you allow yourself to live in, the people you listen to, and the patterns you've repeated for years without questioning. It's not just advertising or media. It's the way habits are built around you, like scaffolding. If you wake up and the first thing you see is a screen, you're already inside someone else's design. If you spend hours watching the same kind of content, you're already being guided by someone else's priorities. If you surround yourself with people who have quietly given up on their own dreams, you are inhaling their resignation every day. I call it the silent architecture of influence, and it's powerful. In every city I visit in America, I see it at work. A woman in Chicago with incredible creative ability spends her mornings on television shows that drain her energy. A retired engineer in Texas, brilliant and experienced, spends 6 hours a day scrolling, convinced he's staying informed, but actually losing the drive to act. A small business owner in Florida, still young at heart, at 68, stops sharing his ideas because everyone around him says it's too late. This is how influence works, not by force, but by quiet repetition until it becomes your default. This message is urgent because most people over 50 are entering the most powerful decade of their lives without realizing it. These are the years when wisdom, experience, and networks converge. But if the silent architecture around you is built from resignation, distraction, and fear, you will waste your most powerful decade asleep. And the truth is, no one on television, no algorithm on social media, no headline in the news will ever tell you this, because distraction is profitable. Resignation is predictable. But a person who wakes up and reclaims their environment, their inputs, their influences, that person becomes unstoppable. So, I want you to pause for a moment and ask yourself who or what is shaping your thoughts today. Name it, write it down, then come back and tell me in the comments. Tell me the city you're listening from and the biggest influence you know you need to change. Don't just listen to this video. Speak up. Your comment might be the very thing another viewer needs to read. You can even write something simple like, I see it now, or I'm breaking the pattern. Drop those words in the comments if this is connecting with you. This is where the 31-day daily high-impact planner I mentioned earlier becomes more than just a planner. It becomes your daily shield. When you sit down each morning and deliberately decide what you will feed your mind, what you will act on, what you will ignore, you begin to dismantle the invisible scaffolding that's been built around you for years. It's not complicated. It's a simple act of reclaiming your day before the world takes it. Even if you only do this for 31 days, you will see the patterns start to break. And once you see them, you'll wonder why no one ever told you. I'll tell you something few people know. Most of the breakthroughs you admire in history, the inventions, the businesses, the movements, did not come from bursts of genius. They came from ordinary people who finally stepped outside the silent architecture of influence and built their own. That is the real hidden pattern. Transformation happens not by waiting, but by rebuilding the structures around you so they serve your future instead of your past. But there's more. Because even if you reclaim your time and your environment, there's another even deeper layer that almost no one talks about. This layer is where your decisions and your identity collide. It's where people either rise into their calling or quietly shrink away. And it's also where faith, prayer, and alignment with God begin to change the trajectory of a person's life. I'll reveal that soon, but for now, write this down. Environment first, decision second. Identity third. This simple phrase could rescue you from decades of repeating someone else's plan. Before we continue, tell me in the comments below, what's the one influence you know you need to change? Write it. Even one word, even just I'm ready. Because the act of declaring it begins the process of changing it. And stay with me, because by the end of this message, I'm going to share the most important lesson of all. The one it took me 30 years to realize. It's a truth so powerful, so hidden, and so rarely spoken that once you understand it, you will never see your life the same way again. What I'm about to tell you now is not only the turning point in my own understanding, it's the turning point for anyone who finally wakes up. The first two truths we've explored, time and environment, are dangerous enough. But there is a deeper layer, a layer where most people lose their life's greatest power without even knowing it. This is the layer where people either rise into their purpose or vanish into quiet regret. If you've ever felt like you're doing everything right but still feel stuck, if you've ever wondered why the same patterns keep returning to your life even after you try to change, this is why. And almost no one is talking about it. Stay with me. Don't miss this. And as you listen, I want you to answer this question in the comments. What pattern in your life keeps repeating that you know you must break even just one word? Health, fear, money. Writing it down is the first step of reclaiming your power. Lesson 3, the war between identity and decision. Here is the hidden truth. Your decisions are not just choices. They are a reflection of your identity. Most people try to change their life by changing their decisions. They start new diets, new habits, new projects. But if their identity, the way they see themselves, remains the same, the old pattern always wins. Think about it. A person who sees themselves as someone who always struggles will sabotage their own success even when opportunity comes. A person who has quietly adopted the identity of "I'm too old" will unconsciously reject anything new even if it's exactly what they prayed for. This is why so many people start fresh at the beginning of the year and by February are back to old habits. They change the decision but not the identity beneath the decision. You cannot permanently live above the story you tell yourself. And this is not theory. I've seen it across America. Ordinary people making extraordinary changes only after they shifted how they saw themselves. A retired nurse in North Carolina went from thinking she was just surviving to believing she was mentoring the next generation. That one shift created opportunities she never thought possible. A former factory worker in Ohio saw himself not as unemployed but as an entrepreneur in training. Within 18 months, his entire life looked different. This is urgent because identity is not neutral. If you do not shape it, it will be shaped for you by advertising, by past mistakes, by other people's opinions. Right now, as you sit listening to me, there is a silent story running in the background of your mind telling you who you are. And that story is deciding your future more than your actions are. Most people will go to their graves, never questioning it. That is why I had to speak this out loud, because once you see it, you can no longer pretend you didn't know. I want you to pause right now and write in the comments, "I choose my story," or "I reclaim my identity." Those simple words break the silence. They tell your own mind, "I am awake." Seeing others write their declaration may be the push someone else needs today. This is where the 31-day daily high-impact planner becomes more than a schedule. It becomes a mirror. Each morning when you open it, don't just write tasks. Write a sentence at the top about who you are becoming. I am a healthy leader. I am a wise mentor. I am a builder of solutions. Do this for 31 days. Watch how your decisions begin to line up with your new identity. This is not positive thinking. It's neurological rewiring. Your brain begins to seek evidence for the identity you declare. And as that identity strengthens, the decisions that match it become effortless. I'll give you a glimpse of something almost no one discusses publicly. There are structures, both visible and invisible, that benefit when you keep your old identity. They benefit when you see yourself as small, as powerless, as past your prime. They benefit when you keep scrolling, keep doubting, keep postponing. Because a person with a strong identity becomes unpredictable. They cannot be easily sold to. They cannot be easily manipulated. They begin to act, build, lead, and pray differently. This is why the greatest shift of all is not changing what you do, but changing who you believe you are. Once you do this, your decisions, your environment, and your time begin to serve your destiny instead of stealing it. Right now, comment below, "I am awake," if you're ready to reclaim your identity, or "I am rewriting my story." These are not just words. They are declarations. They tell your mind, "I'm stepping into a new life." And stay with me because I'm going to share the most important lesson, the one it took me 30 years to understand. This lesson is so rarely spoken, so hidden, so urgent, that it will explain why this video found you today. It's the piece no one else will tell you, the one that ties all the other lessons together. And once you hear it, you will never see your life the same way again. What I'm about to reveal is the single most important realization of my entire life. 30 years of hard lessons, wins, losses, breakthroughs, and breakdowns have led to this. Everything before now was just a path to this one truth. This is the truth that is hidden from the media. The truth no one ever says out loud, because it would change too much if people really understood it. It's the truth that can set you free at any age in any season of your life, and it is urgent. If you're listening to me right now, it's not an accident. This message found you. Ask yourself, why did this video show up in my feed today? Why now? Drop your answer in the comments right now. Even a few words. This is my sign. This is my wake-up call. This is what I needed. Your words might be the lifeline for someone else scrolling beside you. The fourth and ultimate truth: you become what you consistently honor. Here is what almost no one will tell you. Your life is not just shaped by your habits or even your identity alone. Your life is shaped by what you honor, what you consistently give your attention, your respect, your time, your energy, your emotion. Most people unconsciously honor fear. They honor worry. They honor distraction. They honor other people's approval. And then they wonder why they feel small. But every extraordinary person you admire, every life that truly mattered had one common thread. They shifted what they honored. They began to honor wisdom instead of noise. They honored growth instead of comfort. They honored the future instead of the past, and because of that, their future began to honor them back. What are you currently honoring without realizing it? Is it news that drains you? Is it a routine that numbs you? Is it an inner voice that says, I can't comment below one thing you know you've been honoring that no longer serves you? Then comment one thing you're ready to start honoring today. Use words like, I choose growth, or I honor wisdom, or I honor my calling so others can see and join you. There is a hidden pattern that quietly decides the direction of whole communities, whole generations. Those who control your attention control your future. The media will never tell you this because it thrives on your attention. If you stay stuck honoring fear and noise, your life remains predictable. But the moment you take back that honor and give it to what truly matters, your purpose, your relationships, your health, your creator, everything begins to shift. I've seen this happen for seniors who felt they were at the end of their usefulness. I've seen it happen for young people who thought they had no chance. The moment they began to honor something bigger, their days stopped feeling random. The right people, ideas, and opportunities began to show up. We are living in a time where distractions are weaponized, where entire industries profit. When you are overwhelmed and divided, the moment you consciously shift what you honor, you become unpredictable. You become powerful. You become free. That's why no one talks about this truth. This is also why I gave you the 31-day daily high-impact planner, not as another to-do list, but as a daily practice of honor. Each day you open it, you're making a choice about what you will honor for the next 24 hours. Will it be noise or will it be your calling? Use it right in it. Let it guide your focus. This is how you build a life that honors you back. Imagine yourself a year from today having fully shifted what you honor, the person you've become, the peace you feel, the influence you carry, the energy you wake up with. How would your relationships change? How would your finances look? How would you look in the mirror? Comment below your vision. Paint it in one word: freedom, strength, legacy, impact. Do not underestimate what happens when you write it down. Even in the comments, that small action plants a seed in your own mind. And when others see it, they'll be drawn to you. That's how movement begins. Quietly, one declaration at a time. I've given you the deepest truth I've ever learned. But there is more to this realization than I can share in one sitting. There are layers to this wisdom, hidden strategies, patterns, and practices that have been buried for decades. In my next message, I'm going to open up what almost no one dares to talk about publicly. So, if you haven't already, make sure you like this video, subscribe, and turn on the bell icon so you don't miss it when it drops. This isn't motivation. This is survival for your soul, your future, your legacy. No one else is telling you this, but you're hearing it now for a reason. This is your time. This is your wake-up call. The world may not be ready for what's coming next, but you will be. Comment below, I'm ready, or I will honor what matters. Let your voice join with thousands of others waking up right now, because together we're building a new pattern, one that cannot be hidden anymore. Check my playlist for more videos. And I'll see you in the next